The winner, by unanimous decision, Tesla Model S.
This is going to be a look back, and this is sort of a point at which the gears of history moved. I'm hopeful that other car companies will in fact copy us and follow through and do electric car programs with greater vigor as a result of this award.
No pistons, no valves, no exhaust. It's all electric and fast. GM never sold the EV1, it only leased them, and is now demanding that all of them be returned or sent to this junkyard. They'll be crushed and recycled.
And we are not going to just stand here. We're going to keep demanding that they build these cars again.
Anybody else feel that way?
This is the T0. We designed it to show the ultimate performance that's available with electric vehicle technology. This is one of the lithium-ion battery cells we're using to power the T0. Now, this is not a very large battery, so obviously we have to assemble it into larger modules. We basically take 68 of these and assemble them to one big block. So you end up with a module that's about the size of a normal car battery. And we have 100 of these 68 cell blocks in the car, which is a total of 6,800 cells, 3,400 each side of the car.
I'd actually originally come out to Silicon Valley to do a PhD at Stanford in advanced energy storage technologies for electric vehicles, with the idea of potentially focusing on ultracapacitors with high energy density as a potential solution. And then ended up putting that on hold to start an internet company, Zip2, and then co-found another one, PayPal, and then finally, after all that coming, kind of like, okay, time to get back to electric vehicles.
You know, I had started spending more time experimenting and understanding lithium-ion batteries, which were sort of brand new in the early 2000s. You know, they were just coming on the scene for laptops and other electronic devices, and I was spending quite a bit of time trying to figure out, you know, how could we adapt lithium-ion technology, you know, into a much larger pack to take vehicles long distances.
And I tried my hardest to convince AC Propulsion to commercialize the T0. I mean, I tried, you know, I can be pretty persistent about these things. And I was like, guys, you've got to show the world that this is like real, and prove to the industry that they're wrong about electric cars. So my initial plan was just basically to just get together with JB and say, hey, JB, let's form a company and you know, essentially commercialize the T0 concept and create an electric sports car. And then the AC Propulsion guy said, well, you know, there's some other groups that are also interested in doing the same thing. Why don't you team up with them? And so that's when we teamed up with Martin, Mark, and Ian.
And then we encountered Elon.
Yep. So I sent an email off to Elon saying, basically saying, you know, we met at the Mars Society, I don't know if you remember that, but we have this idea and I'd like to come and talk to you.
When I told my friends about this, they're like, you're crazy. Like, how much money do you plan to lose? Not, will you lose money? How much money are you planning to lose? In 2004, the idea of starting a car company was considered extremely stupid. And then the idea of creating an electric car company was like stupidity squared. It's like, wow, that's dumb.
We knew that it was going to be incredibly risky and the odds were against us, but you know, everyone believed in the mission so much, and they believed in the possibility of the technology and the change that we could create, that it's worth taking the risk. Even if it was 10%, you know, if you can make this much positive good on the world, why not take that 10% shot?
Elon, I think, is pretty much the same kind of person that he has been most of his life. He's one of the most driven individuals I've ever met, and he often asked us to take special forces methods to get our jobs accomplished.
This picture in 2006 was actually from our Roadster launch event. So this was a really pivotal event in the company's history. It was the time when we went out of stealth mode. And it was amazing, though. I mean, we left that event with demand being 10 times what we expected, and you know, a whole ton of engineering challenges to go solve, but we knew for sure that people wanted this car in numbers that nobody else expected they did. We started building battery packs actually in Thailand, in a not very
with a contract manufacturer who, I mean, they were well-intentioned but had no idea how to build battery packs.
Yeah, actually, it was a barbecue manufacturer.
It was a barbecue manufacturer.
we built motors in Taiwan, batteries in Thailand. We had this crazy supply chain, and not surprisingly, it was extraordinarily hard to get good quality product at the rate we needed from these suppliers. So in that time frame, that 2008 to 2009, we had to do some amazing things. Moving those factories, taking control of them, moving them back to California, and then resetting them up completely. Because what we had done in Thailand was utterly inappropriate for what we would do here.
So we had to redesign the motor, redesign the power electronics that powered the motor.
Tesla was in a really dire situation at the end of 2007. It had come to light that the car's cost was $140,000. We'd been selling it for $92,000.
I was voted off the island, and in a rather rude way. It wound up with some lawsuits and some settlements, and it's history now.
I mean, from 2008 through 2009, we had to do a complete reboot of the design of the car, the technology, and most of our suppliers had to be changed out in the span of 2 years. Like the idea of manufacturing in San Carlos was kind of mad. It was less mad than outsourcing to a situation that definitely didn't work. So it's like, Jason, we have basically months to insource this operation so that we can iterate rapidly on the battery pack design, iron out our issues, and tighten the supply chain.
Let's take a look at the first car we ever made, the Tesla Roadster. That's serial number 1 of Tesla. On February 2008, we had literally only made one car, that car. And it didn't really work very well, I have to say. It broke down a lot. And it took us another 3 months just to make the second car.
The signs were everywhere, but now it's official, we are in a recession.
Many economists now believe this downturn will be the most severe since the recession of the early 1980s, which lasted 16 months and led to 7.5% unemployment and a record number of bank failures.
Yeah, meanwhile, Anthony, the big three automakers will be making a second attempt to get a federal bailout.
And then when the financial crisis hit, and I was like, oh man, okay. So I got to up my time in the company and go from being kind of the half CEO to the full CEO, because I also had to up the ante in terms of my investment in the company financially. So it's like, all right, if I'm going to do that, then I got to be the full CEO, not the half CEO.
In October of 2008, I stopped over in Germany in Stuttgart and met with Dr. Weber, who is the head of R&D for Daimler. And he said that there's a senior Daimler team that's planning to visit Silicon Valley and meet with a bunch of companies. I think it was like January 10th or something like that of 2009. He would ask them to meet with Tesla and kind of make their assessment. So I was like, okay, wow. So then I immediately, as soon as I left that meeting, I called JV and it's like, JV, we have 3 months to make a working electric smart car.
This was a kind of ridiculous, crazy story.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, of course, we were all hard at work trying to make the Roadsters actually work and scale up production.
Exactly. So. It's not like we didn't have stuff on our plate.
Yeah, so 3 months. We put together a rough plan on how we could even possibly achieve this. And first of all, we had to get a car physically, and the only place we could figure out to get one this fast was in Mexico. So, literally, the next day we sent an engineer to Mexico with about $20,000 in cash to purchase a smart car, and he drove it all the way back to San Carlos. And I think the day after that, we tore the entire, propulsion system out of it and started designing a custom battery pack, from scratch. We had ideas on how we had done the Roadster pack, of course, but that didn't fit in this car. It was way too big. So, a very tiny team, small SWAT team of engineers, prototyped and architected a one-off battery pack, a lithium-ion battery pack that could fit into the smart car. That team didn't sleep a whole lot in those couple of months, and it was also through the holidays, which was great. But everybody was having the time of their lives. It was super, super fun. We were in a little teeny garage in San Carlos, trying to make this, smart car electric. And one of the things we realized pretty early on is that this was going to be the fastest smart car that had ever been made.
I mean, it was so fast you could do wheelies in the parking lot. The Daimler engineering team shows up, and it was clear when they entered the building they were not excited about meeting with some American car startup whatever, so they'd been told that they needed to do this, and they were like, well, this is obviously going to be a waste of their time, and they're quite grumpy actually. And we started off with a PowerPoint presentation, and they really didn't like the PowerPoint presentation. So I said, you know what, why don't we skip the PowerPoint presentation? Would you like a test drive? And they're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean a test drive? I'm like, yeah, we made one. It's just outside. Do you want to drive it? And they're like, sure. So then they went out and test drove the insane performance smart car. As JB was saying, it's like basically you can't exit that without a grin on your face. So they went from being a bit grumpy to be like, holy cow, this is awesome. And we actually, out of that meeting, it got our first development contract with Daimler to create an electric smart car. And that was really, I think if we hadn't done that, Tesla would have died.
I am still somewhat scarred by 2009 when General Motors and Chrysler went bankrupt. That is seared into my mind with a branding iron because, Tesla was just hanging on by a thread during that entire time. I mean, when we closed off a financing round in 2008 at 6 p.m., December 24th, Christmas Eve. And if we had not closed that financing round, we would have bounced payroll 2 days after Christmas. So we actually closed that round on the last hour of the last day that it was possible. Stressful, to say the least. And then barely made it through 2009. I had a tough choice there because I could either provide all of the money for SpaceX or all of the money for Tesla and then increase the chance that one of them would survive, or I have to split the money. But if I split the money, then maybe both will die. I mean, you can imagine, it's almost like if you had 2 children and you have only so much food, what do you do?
So what was the choice?
I split it. It was looking pretty grim because even though the 4th launch of SpaceX had succeeded, we were still running out of money because we had three failures and only 1 success. Still not enough. And then the financing round for Tesla had not closed, and we had only 2 days, maybe two. I think it was like 2 or 3 days, maybe, to close it before Christmas. So I was like, man, this could be a really bad end of the year. Maybe both companies will fail.
3, 2, 1, 0.
We're in stage
and
one.
we're flying.
Plus 20 seconds.
Second stage staying stable. Eco.
Stage separation confirmed.
And Kestrel ignition.
Perfect.
Second stage.
Capture maneuver.
You can hear
There
the
go
cheers
the
in the background.
stiffening
From about 500
vans.
people here.
Falcon 1 has
Payload
made
separation
history as
confirmed.
the first privately developed launch vehicle to reach Earth orbit from the ground.
That was
So Franz joined.
Yeah, around August 2008.
Yeah.
And, we had talked several times about designing a sedan for Tesla.
We certainly weren't trying to copy or emulate any other car designs. It really was just we need to design a car that's meant to be an electric car that looks great and achieves the functionality that we're aiming for.
I think this is the right time to unveil the Tesla Model S, which is a pure electric sedan. It's something that is going to be critical to getting off our dependence on oil.
In just weeks, all this activity will grind to a halt. 4,700 jobs will disappear, as will California's only automobile assembly plant. And a unique joint venture between General Motors and Toyota, currently turning out Toyota Corollas and Tacoma trucks, will be officially dead. The two automakers have been building cars at the Fremont plant called NUMMI since 1984.
Thanks for the introduction.
Sorry. Let's see. I think you're familiar with this gentleman.
Elon is all frozen today. He never got so much press attention in his lab.
This is indeed a super exciting day for Tesla. I think one of the most exciting days in Tesla history. Toyota is making an investment in Tesla. There is going to be also the NUMMI plant. We will be purchasing the NUMMI plant. and making the Model S and other cars there. And we're going to raise the curtain on the sign. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Oh, that's great. Now I get a chill.
Yeah.
Actually, that's great.
Elon, a huge day for Tesla, the company going public. Why now?
About one of the most hyped IPOs in recent memory. The soon-to-be red-hot Tesla Motors, which will trade under the symbol TSLA when it comes public next week. Tesla says sell, sell, sell. You don't want to own this stock. You don't want to lease it. Heck, you shouldn't even rent the darn thing.
Our own Jim Cramer yesterday said, I'm not sure that Tesla has a business plan that's going to work. It's not a smart investment. What do you say to the skeptics who look at where Tesla is, the money that you're raising, and they say, you know what? They've got a nice roadster, but they don't have a good business plan.
Well, I think, Jim, I'd say, yeah, sure, Jim, we're no Bear Stearns, but I think we're going to do okay. Jim, I think, recommended Bear Stearns and Lehman and other things. So, frankly, it's a contraindicator. It was an arduous IPO, but we managed to raise, get Tesla public, and just sort of clean up the capital structure and raise, a bunch of money from the public markets. Shortly after that, we became one of the most shorted stocks on the NASDAQ.
Short sellers taking an aggressively negative stance on Tesla. And Tesla's short interest is 48% of the Tesla float. Compare that to the S&P's 3.3%. This makes it one of the most hated stocks on Wall Street. Nearly every other share outstanding bet against Tesla. Bottom line is that Tesla is burning through an average of $50 million in free cash flow in each of the last 6 quarters. Now, where's the money going to come from? Well, it's going to come from you and me. Tesla's received a $465 million loan from the Department of Energy. Now, that money is to be spent developing the next Tesla, the Model S. And a lot of Wall Street is betting that CEO Elon Musk can't get it done.
So our goal here with the Model S was to create not the best electric car, but actually the best car of any kind. And you'll see me sort of kind of harping on this difference of gasoline and electric. What we're really trying to show here with the Model S is that an electric car is not almost as good as a gasoline car. It's way better. I mean, that's the thing that we have to show to the world. I mean, you see all these articles and so-called experts, and in some cases they're just sort of your typical naysayers. In some cases, they're funded by the oil companies and they have nefarious objectives in mind, and they almost don't want this car to exist.
Are you ready? It's time.
It's time.
It's time. It's time to start delivering Model S.
Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
I want to say this is for Elon Musk and the entire Tesla team. We're so proud of you. Thank you for making a beautiful car. Thank you for making a future we can be proud of. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Its critics called Tesla a house of cards that would collapse due to the lack of electric car charging stations.
So what we want to show you tonight is essentially the answer to the 3 major problems that are holding back electric vehicles, or at least that people think are holding back electric vehicles. And the answer to that is what we're going to show you here with the Tesla supercharger. People have this idea that if you have an electric car, you're sort of, there's no freedom. You're stuck. They have this idea that you can't go anywhere. And what we're showing here today is that, in fact, you have more freedom than with anything. You'll be able to go anywhere, and you can feel really good about your travel because you're going on sunlight.
The winner, by unanimous decision, Tesla Model S. First time that anybody on our staff can remember it being unanimous.
This is going to be a look back, and this is sort of a point at which the gears of history moved. And I'm hopeful that other car companies will in fact copy us and follow through and do electric car programs with greater vigor as a result of this award. So that's the thing I hope will most occur as a result of this.
And there's a lot of competition coming on board, including Coda Automotive, which they've got an electric car that's priced a little bit cheaper than yours, around $37,000, backed by Phil Falcone, former Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson, and you're looking like...
I don't think Coda is going to survive.
There's a pretty big short position on it.
It's doing pretty well, actually, given that we have such a huge short position. In fact, I think the short position may be as high as one can actually go. I think that they're literally hit the ceiling on the short position. The shorts are in it to the hilt.
And you believe they are 100% wrong?
You know, I think it's very unwise to be shorting Tesla. I mean, it's just very unwise. I think there's a tsunami of hurt coming for those holding a short position.
Okay.
It's going to be very unpleasant. I advise people to exit while there is time.
Tesla's hitting the accelerator on the long and winding road to profitability. The electric car maker issued a statement Sunday saying it's selling more cars than it had expected and now it's profitable.
I've got a bet that the stock's up on that.
Oh yeah, we're going to bring you a winner here this Monday morning here. It's up over 10%. It's up 11% for Tesla.
11% is a big jump, and I'm sure they'll take that willingly.
$13 billion. That is Tesla Motors' total market value after rocketing up by $13 yesterday, above $100 a share, making it worth more than companies like Netflix, for instance, or even Fiat.
When we last spoke I want to say in person in Fremont, California at the Tesla plant, you said, in response to my question about Tesla being one of the most shorted stocks around, you said, really, at your own peril, should you be shorting the stock. Since then, the stock has skyrocketed more than 150%. Year over year, it's up more than 180%. What do you say to the shorts now? Because there's still a 30+% shorts floated at this point.
I'm not really someone who bluffs, so it's not. I'm really just saying, like, hey, you know, if someone says there's a freight train heading in your direction, you should at least look down and see if you're on the tracks.
Why do you need a government loan? You have so much money. The cars are so expensive.
Sure.
Why do you need taxpayer dollars?
Let's get to Tesla Motors, talking about profits, surprising shareholders by paying off a startup loan from the Department of Energy 9 years early.
This week, CEO Elon Musk announced the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has given his Model S sedan the highest safety rating in its history of testing cars.
When we did the roof crush test, it got to 4 times the weight of the car, and then the machine broke. So literally the roof, the thing that's supposed to crush the car, broke instead of the car. So
that's when you know your car is tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think what Tesla and Elon Musk are trying to do is go by those criticisms one by one and do it very methodically, address those. You know, do we have good performance? Yes. Motor Trend says that we did. Do we have good safety? Yes. NHTSA has said that we are a very safe car.
I think we can produce an affordable, long-range, compelling electric car in about 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Statements like that are no longer considered boastful. In fact, traditional car companies like General Motors have now formed teams to study Tesla and learn from its success.
There are new questions about the safety of Tesla's flagship Model S sedan after a video was posted on car site Jalopnik, one of the electric cars on fire. Nobody was hurt, but what is getting hurt are Tesla shares. They've shed about 12% since yesterday.
Martin Winterkorn, who knows a bit about making cars, being the boss of VW, said he was startled. That was the word he used, startled by the fire. Why do you think he was startled?
I don't know, because VW has thousands of car fires every year.
He's investing a lot of money in this technology. He says his is safe. Again, I don't know what the implication of that is.
I mean, BMW literally has several thousand fires every year in their cars.
VW, yeah.
Yes. So I'm not sure I'd be startled by one in an electric car.
Now bad news for Tesla Motors. It's now the target of a federal investigation because the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said today it's launching an investigation into why 2 of the company's Model S vehicles have caught fire this year. It's just the latest PR nightmare for Tesla, which once was just a company that could do no wrong. Last week, actor George Clooney got involved, telling Esquire magazine, "I was one of the first cats with a Tesla, but I'm telling you, I've been on the side of the road a while in that thing." And I said to them, "Look, guys, why am I always stuck on the side of the effing road?" Tesla CEO Elon Musk was upset with that and responded to Clooney on Twitter with, in other news, George Clooney reports that his iPhone 1 had a bug back in 2007.
3 cars caught on fire. What's your response?
Our 3 non-injurious fires got more national headlines than 250,000 deadly gasoline car fires. That's mad. What the heck is going on? I mean, I realize like a new technology should have a spotlight on it, but it shouldn't have a laser on it.
Tesla plans to boost battery production. Elon Musk, the CEO, calls it a gigafactory, and that could, of course, transform the power industry and really push the electric car into the mainstream.
Really, our main concern is to make sure that the gigafactory, the giant battery factory, is ready when the 3rd-generation car is ready. Because if we go and design the car and we tool up to produce the rest of the car, which is also a big expense, but then there are no batteries to supply it, it would be a terrible outcome for Tesla. I mean, we might fail as a company. So that has to be paramount in our decision making.
It is my honor to announce that we have reached an agreement that will enable Tesla to build the world's largest and most advanced battery factory right here in the Silver State.
I'd like to start off by just thanking Governor Sandoval and the Nevada legislature.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has just announced on the company's website that the company is going to be opening up all of its patents for other automakers and others in the auto industry to use.
It is rare and it is bold. Tesla is sharing its secrets, opening its patents for the world to see.
You just had this patent decision, and this gets to the point you're saying. You're further ahead of other car companies than you would like to be.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain kind of broad interest you have in the diffusion of electric cars, right?
Right.
Is that what is driving your recent decision to essentially not pursue intellectual property claims on your own patents?
Yeah, we decided to open up the patents because we think it's important that there be a lot of electric cars in the world. Welcome, everyone, to basically the announcement of Tesla Energy. Now, a lot of people aren't clear on how much surface area is needed to generate enough power to completely get the United States off of fossil fuels. Actually, very little land is needed to get rid of all fossil fuel electricity generation in the United States. That blue square there is the land area that's needed to transition the United States to a zero carbon electricity situation. It's really not much. And most of that area is going to be in rooftops. We need to store the energy that is generated during the day so that you can use it at night. Now, what you may not have noticed in that earlier slide where I showed the blue square was that there was one red pixel. One pixel is the size of the batteries needed for the United States to have no fossil fuel generated electricity. So this is a product we call the Tesla Powerwall. It's designed to work very well with solar systems right out of the box. So it gives you safety, security, and it gives you a complete and affordable solution. But what about something that scales to much larger levels? So for that, we have something else. So we have the Power Pack. The Tesla Power Pack is designed to scale infinitely. So you literally make this into a gigawatt-hour class solution.
Look, it sounds great, but help me understand how new this is. Is this a totally pioneering new technology, or is Elon Musk entering a crowded field where he's going to have stiff competition?
I talked to analysts. There are about 500 companies that have been doing this, but Tesla's very well positioned to do it in a different way. I want to point to one statistic. I looked at some research from a company called Navigant in Boulder, Colorado, and right now this industry is worth about $605 million. By the year 2024, it could be a $21 billion industry.
Tonight, much of the developed world will wait in anticipation to see a new product made in America that's hoping to disrupt the entire auto industry. Tesla CEO Elon Musk is set to debut that. His latest creation comes out tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, the new Model X.
Their goal with the Model X is not to be the Model 3, which is going to be the everyman's car. The Model X is a high-end car just like the Model S. But what matters is the fact that if they can get to 500,000 cars from the 30,000 or 40,000 today, this is a company's value that's going to grow tremendously, and they just have to make it happen. And that's the game that they play over at Tesla.
Guys, how many times have we heard analysts say get out of this stock or hold it or it's a neutral or it's an outright sell? Over the past 2 years, it's up 31%. Over 3 years, up 754%. And then you see the 5-year. The 5-year up 1,145%. So I look at that and I say, those analysts who told me not to buy it, they lost me money.
And also there were many people that thought that Tesla would fail. Many of them unwisely chose to short our stock. I presume so those people are not here today. But there is a lot of misinformation out there, and you know, as the threat of EVs becomes more and more significant to the oil industry, obviously they step up the propaganda campaign, and that's to be expected, you know. So it's real important to fight hard to counter the propaganda. People have this idea that if you have an electric car, this idea that you can't go anywhere. And what we're showing here today is that, in fact, you have more freedom than with anything. You'll be able to go anywhere, and you can feel really good about your travel because you're going on sunlight.
This week, CEO Elon Musk announced the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has given his Model S sedan the highest safety rating in its history of testing cars.
It is my honor to announce that we have reached an agreement that will enable Tesla to build the world's largest and most advanced battery factory right here in the Silver State.
The winner, by unanimous decision, Tesla Model S.
I want to say this is for Elon Musk and the entire Tesla team. We're so proud of you. Thank you for making a beautiful car. Thank you for making a future we can be proud of. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Welcome. Welcome to production hell.